It is Sunday, the 23rd of February, 2025. My name is Pigeon and this is my song of the day. Surprise, we're talking about Daft Punk and Julian Casablancas again. So I think I mentioned during the episode about Instant Crush last week that when recording Instant Crush for the album Random Access Memories with Daft Punk, Julian Casablancas also recorded another song. But that song was never finished and never released. Until now. No, so Random Access Memories came out in 2013, and in 2023 they released like an anniversary edition. Well, they released a few anniversary editions actually. One of them was just like a deluxe edition with bonus tracks, other singles and stuff, alternate versions of things, demos, and then the other one was the whole album without drums, which is a weird thing to exist, but I kind of dig it. It's just so interesting how, being a drummer myself, noticing how much lack of drums changes the vibe of some songs, but also it's great if you want to drum along to them, you know? Anyway, someday when I get another drum kit, finally, I could make a video just like going absolutely fucking ham to like one of the really slow songs and just see how it goes. Anyway, one of the songs released on that big deluxe album was Infinity Repeating, featuring Julian Casablancas. Apparently, they made a demo of it around the same time they were making Instant Crush, but they never finished it, and they didn't release it until now because it wasn't finished, which is really weird to me because the demo sounds immaculate. I don't know what you would change about it, frankly. I love it so much. We'll get more into kind of the behind the scenes of it and other things. I very much recommend the music video for you if you can watch it, because this ended up being the last song that Daft Punk recorded and released, unless you count collaborations with other people before they broke up. And the music video is kind of a trip down memory lane of their career a bit, you know, in an interesting, very simple way. Anyway, let's go listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And that was Infinity Repeating by Daft Punk featuring Julian Casablancas. Now, the song has a theme of infinite cycles, hence the title, as does the music video. And I want to talk about the music video here for a sec because it's so good. If you didn't watch it, it starts off with just a drawing of a circle, and then it flips like a flip book, like a stop motion thing. The circle starts rolling, and then it turns into an amoeba, and then a creature, and then a human, and then the human starts walking, and this is as the music starts going, you know, and the human goes through various different phases over the course of the song, like every measure or whatever. It starts off turning into like a black and white businessman, then he becomes color, and then it's like a 70s woman with like big hair and flares, you know, and sunglasses, and then like there's like a what looks like a space captain anime character sort of thing, and then there's like a whole sequence where it's switching between kind of like French Revolution characters, but also they're kind of like wearing cybernetic helmets that are designed to look like the Daft Punk helmets but also be kind of different, and they keep cycling through those for a bit, and then like there's a whole thing where it becomes like a kind of a pixelated robot, and then there's a wireframe at one point, and then it becomes a robot with like a human face, so like a cyborg, and the robot's helmet is like a mix of the two Daft Punk helmets, and the cyborg's mouth is, this is such a weird thing to say about someone, it's recognizably Julian Casablancas' mouth. He's a very specific face. So it's like a combination of the three of them, which I really enjoy as a design. And then that shatters and turns into like the most kind of like human-like robot, fluid moving. And this is as the song starts to kind of get more like fall apart and be jazzy at the end. The drums become more discordant and the guitar starts rising above the vocals, and the robot starts speeding up and running until it's running full tilt, and then it falls apart and one of the pieces rolls over and turns back into the circle from the start of the video. I love it so much. It's so good. The animation is so good and it fits the song so well. Every time. So good. So let's talk about the song itself. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'll have much to say about it because there's not very many lyrics and they're very vague and abstract. Maybe that's what they wanted to change about it in the end, was the lyrics. Actually, before I go into the lyrics, I'm just going to read a bit about it. So, while working on tracks for Random Access Memories, Casablancas heard the instrumental demo for Infinity Repeating, which Daft Punk said they had no intentions to finish. After Casablancas expressed a desire to write to the song, he recorded vocals thinking that another collaborator like Stevie Wonder might sing in his place, which is wild. I can kind of imagine that. The song was not included on the original release of the album, but Casablancas revealed the song's existence in several interviews. Casablancas called the song weird and not 1/10 as populicious as Instant Crush. It's very funny phrasing. When describing it, Casablancas said the song was like 4 half steps up, moving as that on cycle on repeat, saying he thought it was more bizarre than any song that had released on the finished album. So there you go. Oh, I should say, by the way, this song is officially credited as featuring Julian Casablancas, but it's actually featuring his whole band, The Voids. That's his band that isn't The Strokes, just to point that out. Anyway, let's go into the lyrics, shall we? I was crossing the border, too old friend coincidence. I don't want any other too old friend coincidences. Weekday, weekday, weekday. I don't want to play any other game on a simpler day. It's not right. It's not true. It's not right. It's not how we used to do. It's not true. It's not right. It's not how we used to do. It's not true. It's not right. It's not how we used to do. So God knows what this song is truthfully about. I was crossing the border could be about anything. It could be literal. But then too old friend coincidence. I don't want any other too old friend coincidences. It's very strange to me, and it does feel like it's maybe a bit of a filler lyric. Like with Instant Crush, he might have just been improvising. But also too old friend coincidence. He could be talking about the two members of Daft Punk. Who knows? Weekday, weekday, weekday. I don't want to play any other game on a simpler day. That just sounds like not wanting to, continue the routine of working every day and all that, right? There's someone on Genius, once again, who's just wildly interpreting this, saying it's about AI, and the song's like personifying AI. Now, apparently members of Daft Punk have said that part of the reason why they broke up as a band is because they were kind of despairing at the rise of AI's use in music production, which is interesting because Random Access Memories is like almost entirely analog, which is unusual for that band. But I don't think this song is specifically about that. That's just a bit of a stretch. So then the whole, it's not right, it's not true, it's not right, it's not how we used to do. I mean, I can see where they're coming from there, but there's no reason to believe that's true about this song, right? But there's just this repetition over and over again of it's not true, it's not right, it's not how we used to do. I just love that. It's just easy to get locked into it, And then we get what he does well, that he does, he knows it, lay down, just lay down. And then we get the repetition of the part at the start. I was crossing the border, we were waiting in line, I don't want any other too old friend coincidences. Voice inside my head, dinner's a mine or yours. So again, just like, I think he's just kind of making shit up. I don't think this necessarily has a lot of meaning to it. What he does well, that he does, he knows it, lay down, just lay down. I don't know what that's about. Again, someone says it's about AI. I don't think so. I was crossing the border, we were waiting in line, I don't want any other too old friend coincidences. Voice inside my head, dinner's at mine or yours. It just sounds like he's making shit up, right? And then weekday, weekday, weekday. I don't want to say, but he wants to know on a simpler day. And then the rest of the song is just repeating that it's not right, it's not true, it's not right, it's not how we used to do. Now, on Genius, it says that there's also backing vocals singing, I will owe you nothing, I'll owe you nothing. I've never noticed that before, so I should listen to it again with an ear out for that. But that's how the song goes out anyway. It just keeps repeating that until it eventually falls apart. So yeah, I just love, even though the lyrics are basically nonsensical to me, and if someone has a better meaning for it, they can feel free to chip in the comments. But I just love how it feels. It sounds great because it's fucking Daft Punk. The vocals are great because it's Julian Casablancas. And it just gets across that idea of infinite cycles very well, despite being a 4-minute song that ends, It just gets it across very well, I think. And that's pretty much gonna be it for today, and indeed for the week. Let me just check here. Next week is not a themed week once more. I'm just talking about more songs I want to talk about. The week after is going to be my spring week. I'm also going to Scotland on Saturday the 1st, so I will have a bunch of episodes recorded and edited and banked and uploaded and ready to go while I'm in Scotland. I'm only gone for a few days, but it'll mostly be during that spring week that I'll be gone, so I'll have all that recorded in advance. Don't you worry. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Break it down. When describing it, Casablanca said the song was like four half steps